A very warm welcome to the 45th edition of the Global Weather and Climate Report. It is, of course, Sunday, and a very warm welcome to you. Have you seen temperatures in the 30s over the course of the last couple of days? Or indeed, have you seen showers, thunderstorms, lightning, flash flooding? We have got a lot of a concoction of summery conditions across the UK this weekend. It is the first real warmth of the season. And of course, we have seen the temperature rise to 32.2 Celsius at Chertsey to the west of London during the course of Saturday afternoon. Temperatures are not quite as warm down across southern portions of the UK compared to yesterday. This was the temperatures yesterday afternoon, by the way. We got as high as 28.7 at Lossiemouth yesterday afternoon, only 20.7 at Tain, thanks to an onshore wind, 27 at Altnahara, and then of course we had a 28 at Carlisle, we had a 29.1 at Prestwick, only 23.7 at Glasgow, which was quite interesting, and of course down that east coast we remained relatively cool, but down into a region anywhere from kind of northeast Wales, the Liverpool area, and kind of diagonally, southeast, you go down through the Midlands and into south central portions of England, down into the west side of London. That was where the temperatures were generally just above the 30 degrees Celsius mark. Plenty of showers across the Inverness area, actually, of Highland Scotland at the moment here. We also have some shower activity, it looks like, down towards the Manchester area, North Wales, South Wales, and areas kind of to the west and northwest of London also. We've got some showers and thunderstorms blowing up over the English Channel as well. But there is a heck of a lot of weather to speak about, and I'm going to try and cram as much as I can in over the next 15 minutes or so. Please do like, share, and of course subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. By the way, NOAA has now declared an El Nino has developed officially. There is two bodies that determine this. It's NOAA in the United States, and it's also, I believe, the Bureau of Meteorology in Australia. And I believe the threshold for the El Nino in Australia has not actually officially been declared yet. But certainly on the American side of the Pacific, it has now been deemed official that we have got an El Nino in place. Now, there is quite a lot of interesting things going on at the moment, actually, with regards to the temperature, the global temperature. This was an interesting tweet, if I can get back to the right tweet, that is, because I find I end up losing myself, and I might have actually lost this. I'm not sure. Bear with me 2 seconds, folks. I do apologise about this. This is an interesting tweet here by Dr. Ryan Maui, based in Atlanta, Georgia, I believe. He still is located. But he put out this interesting tweet that the highest global temperature, I think, on a uniform basis at 17.0 Celsius or 62.6 Fahrenheit, the actual temperature threshold has been achieved. That's 1.5 degrees Fahrenheit above the 1991 to 2020 normal. Earth's surface now warmer than the 2016 Super El Nino, and bear in mind that El Nino has just been declared. Now, I've also seen some tweets going about the tremendous release of water vapor from the Tonga volcano that took place a year past in January. That has been contributing to the global warming, so to speak. So this is quite an interesting little update that according to this here, if I'm reading this right, this is now the warmest in recorded history. The Earth's temperature at the surface, anyway, is at the highest levels, ever. But again, the word ever has to be used with caution, given the fact that we cannot prove what took place before, of course, and that's going to raise a ruckus with some people. Some people get upset by that statement, saying that we have never been any warmer than it is now. And of course, there is another argument to say that previous warm episodes in thousands of years gone by was warmer than now. How do we know what it was like, say a couple of thousand years ago, whatever? But certainly in terms of recorded history, in the satellite era, it looks as if the Earth's surface has never been as warm as it is now, which I suppose is an element of alarm to that. But this is according to the CDAS data anyway, this is the temperature anomaly globally for the month of June so far. Quite a cold Greenland, if you notice here. Quite a large area of Canada, warmer than average. The eastern United States has been quite cold, as well as the southwestern United States. A very strong area of warming, so Mongolia, Kazakhstan, into the heart of Russia has been significantly above average. We've seen temperatures as high as 40 degrees Celsius in parts of Siberia in the last week, which is remarkable. Western portions of Canada, China, sorry. This region here, northern India, still below average. But notice here, we're starting to heat things up further south over the subcontinent. Northeast Africa is warmer than average. Northwest Africa has been below average. Of course, we had Storm Oscar bringing record-breaking rains, but also unsettled conditions to parts of Africa. Also, much of Australia is seeing a much warmer month of June so far versus one of the coldest Mays on record. By the way, the Arctic region had one of the coldest, if not the coldest, May in, again, recorded history, which is quite interesting, actually. Northern portions of Europe has been very cold, but of course we've got a lot of heat now in western portions of Europe. But yeah, it's really only just arrived. We've not had a tremendous amount of warmth up until now, anyway. So yeah, most of South America is warmer than average. Most of Australia is warmer than average. Contributing aspect, I think, is the strong warming now that we're seeing off the Peru coast. Of course, with this developing El Nino, we're going to increase rainfall in this region of the world as well. We're going to decrease rainfall over the western portion of the Pacific, with cooler waters now pushed towards Australia, warmer waters to the east over the eastern side. We're going to then redistribute the rainfall. Remember, we've had a lot of record-breaking rainfall in Australia. We've had cool temperatures as well, thanks to the La Nina. But when you reverse that, you then see the opposite type of signal developing. Warmer than average waters over the Indian Ocean basin. We've got a tropical cyclone that's now starting to strengthen. Looks as if it's got its eyes set on Pakistan, northwest India. There is some model members veering off towards Oman, so that'll be quite interesting if we get any kind of precipitation effects over the western side of the Arabian Sea towards Oman versus to the east over India. So plenty of interesting things, of course, going on as always. Our friend Shrine Bruin here showing the earliest 90 degree Fahrenheit in the UK, or 32.2. And you notice here we're at the bottom of the pile. So as early as the 29th of May 1944, 31st of May 1947, and skip through the list, and you can see here 10th of June 2023, we of course achieved that threshold yesterday afternoon. So the earliest 90 degrees since 1996, but good amount of occasions has happened earlier before. So this is the earliest 90 degree day in the UK since 1996, which is quite interesting. Of course, that was a super El Nino period as well, 96, 97, or 97, 98, should I say. Actually, I'm slightly ahead of myself, of course. And remember, I was looking at last week, this region here of China. We've had some remarkable extremes, by the way, going off in China lately. This 42.2 or 108 Fahrenheit achieved at 1,200 feet above, 1,200 meters, sorry, above sea level. We also had the record minus 7.7 over the over northern portions of Finland here. So looks as if we have seen a record-breaking temperature for the month of June in China, in Xinjiang province. Eddinghou Lake recorded a temperature of 48.5 Celsius. That's a new official record for the highest temperature in June, according to our friend Maximiliano. Unofficial temperatures of 48.8 Celsius was achieved. And if we look at our friend Jim Yang's Twitter feed here, there is a heck of a lot of things that's been going on. Record-breaking rains. Look at this video here of folks holding an awning in a storm. Don't do this at home. So, folks trying to hold down an awning, do not do that in a storm, or you might find yourself flying off into the sky. But record heat, tornadoes, we've seen hail, we've seen high water due to flash flooding. Here's winds blowing dust out of this building that looks as if it's under construction. Severe thunderstorms, so there's your tornadoes. Massive trees getting uprooted. Just seems to be that China has seen for the last, 12 months or so in particular, just these wild extremes. We had -50 back in December. Here's hail. I think this is in Inner Mongolia, actually. Here's flash flooding. Look at this here, right? In a 6-hour period, there was 440.5 millimeters of rain. And is that Guangzhou province? I could be wrong. But yeah, in a 24-hour period, 614 millimeters of rain fallen. Remarkable stuff in terms of extremes going on in China. So yeah, that's China. Let's have another look and see what we can find in terms of extreme weather. Let's have a look at New York, because we've seen some remarkable stuff going on here. So forest fires, of course, has been an issue, and we've seen tremendous amounts of wildfire smoke over the New York City area. I do apologize, I should be prepared a little bit more than I am. But we had the worst air quality in any city on the planet for a period of time due to this here. So this is the middle of the day in modern New York City, and it looks as if it's a dust storm, it looks as if it's the end of the world, but it's actually wildfire smoke getting blown out of Quebec and down over New York City and the northeastern half of the United States. Apparently it's the equivalent of smoking 6 cigarettes by breathing in this toxic air that had engulfed the city of New York during the course of last week. Let's have a look at Maximiliano's tweets and see the extremes that have been taking place around the planet. Of course, we've got drought conditions, or semi-drought conditions, across northern portions of Scotland. Very dry conditions across other parts of England and Wales, but of course we have had very wet March, a wet April. The first week of May, actually was wetter than average. But across the northern half of Scotland, even in March, we had slightly below average rainfall across the far northwest. And it's here where SEPA has issued a report with some concern with regards to low sea level and whatnot, river level, should I say, in places. So record-breaking warm temperatures across parts of Nunavut territory of northern Canada. We've got tremendous heat across parts of Mexico and the central portion of America. So record-breaking June temperatures in Costa Rica. Mexico and the Caribbean is living through a major heat wave. Very dry conditions, abnormally dry across parts of Mexico. We may see a world record for highest temperature above 2,000 meters above sea level in the coming days here. Rapidly running out of time, but you can see here all sorts of records breaking. Do check out Maximiliano on Twitter. If you have Twitter and you're interested in global weather records, he has an endless, data collection. I believe it's probably the most impressive record for global temperatures anywhere on the planet. We also seen Lytton in British Columbia record a temperature of 38.5 Celsius, actually one of the warmest spots in the entire North American continent, which is unusual to see. So I've run out of time. I do hope you've enjoyed the video. A little bit of a mixed match, but please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you again hopefully tomorrow with more. Bye.